I think that view there is a absolute cracker. A lovely sweep round here. That's Ullswater down at the bottom. Panorama, as I was saying previously, the beauty of sketching is you can get in as much as you want. When you're relying on photographs, you really need a wide angle lens to do these scenes justice. Well, this is the view I've gone through from that short film. Got some nice mountains in the background, hills, wherever they are. We've got the Ullswater you can just see there. A few fields, trees, and a big foreground field here. Nice gate, and then nicely framed by the trees on the left and right hand side. So let's have a quick look at the materials. Using Cotman watercolours of ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. We got the big ache, number 3 rigger, 3/4 inch flat, water, tissue, 15 by 11 Fabriano, and our tea towel up there. So it's as usual, give it a quick wet with the ache, and then I'm going raw sienna, a bit of background colour, and then clean the brush, take off the excess because otherwise paint will be running all down the paper, and I'm going ultramarine, just dancing round, bring that all the way down. Same again, maybe just a bit of Payne's grey this time just to vary it a bit. Soaking up some of this excess. Making sure I got some of the blue of the sky there, because that's where the water's going to be. I can even a few little clouds with the tissue. Try and keep it subtle though. Don't take off everything they've just put on. Bits of tissue that have stuck on the paper there, leave them until the paper dries and they'll come straight off then, no problem. So I'm going straight back into those sky colours. I'm going to put in the those hills and mountains on that side, far side of the lake. Bit of raw sienna, just varying the colour a little bit. Back to the blue, black, or Payne's grey rather. Mountain's a little bit smaller on this side. I'm not going to bother putting a reflection in because you can only see a little bit of the water anyway. Just trying to make sure that's fairly level, and then just a few little trees on that side. So that's that. That's the far side of the water. Now I'll give that a quick dry. It doesn't have to be bone dry, but as long as the paint stops moving around. Paper stretch, so I'm just pulling it tight so I've got a flat surface to work with again. So the next thing to do, I'm going to clean the brush, and I'm going to put in some of the green field. So I'm going to go raw sienna and a bit of lemon yellow. And then starting on this side, just pull that straight across. And then just giving something. So you do only see a little bit of the lake, so that's why I didn't bother putting the reflections in. Now I'm just trying to vary these greens a bit. adding a bit of Payne's grey to it, coming straight across like that. Bit of ultramarine and lemon yellow now. Just filling in those little white gaps that have appeared. And then just bringing it right the way down. But again, just trying to keep changing these greens as I come down to keep it interesting. Lemon yellow, Payne's grey, raw sienna. And then right at the very bottom there's a bit of a muddy track, so I'm just going into a bit of burnt umber. And that sort of comes across. Something like that. So that's the sort of background in there. And just a touch of light red, just a bit more variation. Right, now that'll do for that. So next thing I'm gonna do is add some trees to that now. So starting with the most distant ones, I'm just going lemon yellow, Payne's grey, and then we've just got a bit more yellow. A few trees up there on the hill, going off onto the right hand side. Then there's a few more, just dividing up these fields now. And there's a few big trees. There's a bit of a, I'll try scraping it in. There's like a gate up here, I might just try scraping it in with a knife. Oh well, that's coming out. And just a few. Might be better if I put those in with the rigger actually. But what I'll do, we'll give that a quick dry. I'm going to switch to the rigger, and there's just a few little tree trunks and stuff I want to put in, so I'm just going dark colour, ultramarine and burnt umber. Just a few little more around there. And there's also a few little posts, little fence posts just giving off. Just adds a bit of interest. I'll just stick a few little leaves on these. just scuffing up the rigger. Not too much water, fairly dry. It just comes off in little bits like that. Oh, just give the impression of a few trees. Dry brush, just take off those bits of tissue. Now for the foreground bit. So I want a dark colour, ultramarine, burnt umber. Let's put this one post there. There's another post next to that. And there's one sort of going down like that. And that sort of comes across. So it comes over. Like that. And then we can put in the these top pieces. Another one along the bottom. And then alongside those, we've got some little twigs and trees and branches. Let's put a big tree there, going right up the top of the page. Another one on this side. That was a couple. A little one there just to fill in that space. Let's just stick another couple there just to fill in that gap there. Now I'm going to switch to the rigger just to put in a few finer. Plenty of water. And then you can use a dry ink brush just to fill in a few more of the gaps. Just all those little twigs and bits on the ends, rather than paint them all in one by one. You just clean your brush, scuff it up, so it looks something like a complete mess basically. And then just dab it in the ultramarine and the Payne's grey. And then we can just, all the little finer bits, put them all in en masse. Make sure your brush is nice and dry so you can see plenty of the so you don't come off in great big blobs, so you can still see behind the trees. See, I can do that, and I know that there's only little bits going to come off at a time. That's why, because the brush is so dry. If your brush is wet, you'll do that, and it'll just look a right mess. maybe a bit of light red, just to add a bit of colour to it, but only very, very subtle, because that red is very strong. And a bit of burnt umber down there. Couple of sheep, let's stick a couple of sheep in. So if you can remember how you do the sheep, just take the rigger, just sort of clean and damp on the end, and then just do, tell you what, I'll have to dry this first, because I'm going to put my hand in it and it's going to make a bit of a mess. It's not dry. So now I know that that's dry, I can put my hand on it with confidence it's not going to go everywhere. So sheep, find a nice dark bit so that it'll stand out, so let's say there, and then just twist it round, just do circular motions, and then when you're happy with it, with the size, take it out with a, actually that looks take it out with your tissue. And just to bring back the white of the paper, and stick another one over here. And then one more. Just stick one more. It's another nice dark bit there, so that'll contrast nicely. I'll do. Then stay with the rigger and just get a nice dark colour on the brush. Ultramarine, burnt umber, and just pull it down so it's nice and to a point. And then just pop a little triangle for his head. Just a tiny little triangle. And just looks like a little sheep grazing in the field. A couple of feathered friends as well in the sky. Keep them nice and small. That'll do. Maybe a little man there just walking across the field. Someone else. Stick another one over there. I think I'll call that one finished. On a quiet corner, stick your signature. Hang on, it's going to be a bit darker than that. I'm going to call that one. I'll give it a quick dry and say it's finished. So let's have a quick look at the photo. So I've not really changed the composition much. So working from back to front, the first thing I usually do is the sky and the distant mountains while the paper's still wet. So putting the sky and the mountains in, as I say, while it's still wet, just helps create this sort of soft look in the distance, which helps with recession. The water's put in at the same time as I'm doing the sky in the background, so that the next layer would be those distant, the trees on this side of the lake. And then just trying to change the, just keep varying the greens to keep it interesting. And then just adding a bit of life to it helps create a bit of interest, such as the figures there walking in the field. And then it's always a good place to stick some sheep. Very simply put in with the rigger, as we saw. You see how quickly you can put these foreground trees in with the hake. You can do them with the rigger if you wish, but personally I prefer the hake and save the rigger for the finer twigs and branches. Well, thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Any questions, please ask, and I'll see you again soon.